to go back to the point where you're making your decision to go into the franchise world. You knew you wanted to do something business related, but you just finished a really extensive, long career in the Navy. So those are two different worlds. You probably had a really solid network in the Navy. Next thing you know, you're a franchise owner. How did you establish that network? What were some of the things that you did in order to be part of that community so that you could help grow and benefit your business?
The In a franchise environment, at least in our experience in the UPS store, the network is very solid. The network helps each other out. They realize that they're not in competition with each other, and we're better off working together than the opposite. And we are spread out enough, at least in our environment here in Virginia, that there's no reason for me to fear that our friend Gina on the other end of Route 199 is going to take away any customers of ours. That's just not the way that the system is set up. So it is very easy for anyone to pick up the phone and says, "Hey, I have this question. Do you have an answer for this? How have you addressed this in the past?" Or, "Hey, I have run out of boxes for whatever reason. Could I have some while my new supply comes in, and then I'll deliver them to you?" It happens all the time, to the point that we have even shared team members because there's been an emergency in another store, and Gina or Rob or Amy, those are all UPS store owners in the area. We communicate often, and they're in need of help, and off we go. There's an owner has a family emergency out of the state area, and another owner will take care of that store for that 1 or 2 days, in order to make sure that friend, that owner, doesn't have a hard landing when it comes back, and hell has broken loose in the store. So that support element certainly is there, and it should be utilized. UPS store owners that do not feel that way are really missing the point, and they may not be doing themselves a favor or their team by not embracing that network of support that is already there just because you wear the same uniform. So speaking of uniform, going back to your question on the military, when I had a problem when I was on a ship, all I had to do was just go down the pier, look left and right, and there will be a ship who I'm sure had encountered that problem at some point, and off we go. Like, we communicate with that individual. They say, "Hey, Eddie, here's what you got to do," and off we went, because there was more a support element than a competitive element associated with it. So we made it work for us, that's for sure.
Over the past decade or so, there's been a real big push for buy local. I think in the same vein, that's been a push that's gone against the franchise model, where franchises are bad, or I don't know, bad, they're bad, something like that, So being in a franchise model, there's kind of just this negativity around it. Obviously, you own a couple, and you think that they're a good thing. How do you handle the bad rep of franchises being such a a bad thing,
when I got you.
Clearly they're employing a significant amount of people, not just at your shop, but all across the country? What are your just overall thoughts on franchises, getting the poo-poo stick?
It is all up to the owner. You're right. It is tough to think of the UPS store as a local when, once again, we go back about being under the umbrella of this multinational billion-dollar corporation. How could you possibly describe yourself as local? The owner of the store must get out of the store and get himself or herself into the community. After all, you live local. Therefore, you are local. You hire individuals from the local area. You support local entities, whether it is the ASPCA, in my case, being a cancer survivor, the Cancer Society, in my case, being a veteran, and so is Rick. We support the veterans, whether it is via making signs for a golf course event that is taking place, whatever the case may be, we are local, so we have to behave local. And you let your clientele know that this is what we are supporting this month, to let them know that their local dollars are staying in the local area, even though the UPS store may not be considered local because it's not a one-off. So there is the tone of that the owner sets within the team that operates the store, and the relationship of the owner and that team with the clientele is what really makes the business a local entity or not. I make the argument, and this is a fairly recent idea in the business world. Big companies want to act small. Small companies want to act big, right? But you got to be able to work that, and you work it by informing your clientele just exactly how local you are, even though you are supported by the monstrosity, which is UPS. And they understand. Your client base knows that Eddie and Rick's UPS store is a local entity, is your local go-to place. They do not think of our store, even the one in Gloucester, as a oh my goodness, this is they're so far from us. They're untouchable.
The further away I get from the marketing that started on this of the buy local movement, the more I just think it's utter BS, because how many people buy from Amazon every day? How many people buy from a big box and it's not local in the setting that they are, but they preach buy local? I'm like, guys, you just been marketed towards. You don't really live a buy local movement. I appreciate that it got so big and pushed things out, but it's at the same time. And look, I'll be the first to admit that I used to push it like a lot of people did, but at the same time, it's like, you are local, Eddie, and the majority of people who own a business are local, like 99.9% repeating forever, right? And they all employ local people,
right?
So we just get into this, and it's like, hold on, it's okay. Like, and by the way, your 17 packages from Amazon today that came from wherever are definitely not local. So, whatevs.
Right.
Rant
No,
over.
great. Yeah, great point. Great point.
I get my haircut by a local place. There you go. That's about it, right?
That's local.
When you got long locks of love like this, and you're trying to be, the best hair of Hampton Roads for 10 years straight, like Tim Ryan, you got to do something to stand out. And clearly, having a bad hair today is one of them.
I've been directly involved within our entrepreneurial community for years. And the most common question I get is, Tim, I want to get involved, but I don't know what events I should attend. Well, StartWheel eliminates that pain point because we consolidate all the events you should attend into a single calendar. Now you'll be in the know and see where to spend your time. Gone is the need to search multiple websites and calendars. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.